What did you press to make the thing go live? I thought I had it going live when we started.
On the upper right of the screen, it's a blue box and it says "Go Live."
Oh, I
And
see now.
yeah, so when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll hit it." So that's
Okay.
all.
Okay, thanks.
You did the hard part.
I am sure, just like me, you have been experiencing the heat of the summer. Not a whole lot of fun. In fact, if you come home late in the afternoon, your air conditioner is gone out. I can't imagine the words you might be saying or the words you might be receiving from your family members. Don't let that happen. Contact AAA Heating and Air today. I know I did way back in February. We got a new air conditioner into the Gunner household, and it's been a fantastic summer. The kids have not once yelled at me about anything other than not having enough food. The air conditioner has been great, from installation to cleanup to explaining how it would save money with my electric. AAA Heating and Air was fantastic when I used them, and they'll do the exact same for you. Call them today, 803-677-1500. Again, that's 803-677-1500. You need to tell them Bill Gunner sent you. Right now, with the Inflation Reduction Act, you can get up to $3,800 in tax credits. On top of that, AAA Heating and Air offers you a $1,500 rebate to buy back your old unit. They've got a 15-year parts and labor warranty that'll stick with you for 15 years, and that's fantastic. And on top of all that, they guarantee financing. So don't mess up the end of the summer here. Make sure that air conditioner is working great. Contact AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500, and tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
This is Larry Lightman, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Liner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Hi, I'm Cam with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Panthers and linebacker Justin Houston agreed to terms on a one-year contract. Houston played the last 2 seasons with the Ravens. The 34-year-old, he recorded 9.5 sacks last season. More Panthers news on the offensive side. Head coach Frank Reich, well, he confirmed that #1 overall pick Bryce Young will see his first game action in their preseason opener against the Jets on Saturday. Reich did not comment how many snaps he's going to play, but said the plan was to be flexible with his quarterback. Broncos head coach Sean Payton announced that Russell Wilson and other starters will play in Denver's preseason opener against the Cardinals on Friday. That'll be a change from last season, where Wilson did not play in any of the Broncos' 3 preseason matchups a season ago. The Eagles, they agreed to terms with linebackers Myles Jack and Zach Cunningham. Both of those players get one-year deals. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples has big savings on everything you need for back to school or stocking up the office. Save on all your school essentials from notebooks to markers. Save on everything you need for travel, like luggage, portable tech, and travel-size personal items. Plus, save on signs, banners, and posters from Staples print and marketing services. And now at Staples, you can save even more with 50% back in rewards on your print order. Get everything for the office and the classroom for less at Staples. Ends 8/12. Rewards members only. Rewards redeemable in-store only. See associate for details.
Heat One Pool and Spa is your one-stop shop for all things swimming pools and hot tubs. New construction of vinyl, fiberglass, or gunite swimming pools, as well as liner replacements, weekly maintenance, repairs to existing equipment, or upgrades. Come see us at 5541 Sunset Boulevard to check out our full line of spas and where we offer free water samples and all the chemicals you need to keep your pool and spa clear and clean. Heat One Pool and Spa. You'll find us on Facebook or online at heatonePools.com.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, a good morning to you on this Monday. It's time for a WIS First Alert Traffic update. It has been calm out there so far for the AM hours. Things really settled down in terms of a weather sense, so make sure to just keep it up on those travels today. But as you're listening along and as we go further into the morning, if there's any confirmed collisions, major backups, we'll be sure to let you know. This has been a WIS First Alert Traffic Check. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli. Make it a safe travel day.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. 107.5 The Game.
The main thing about a new year is you have to recognize that you have to look back on some things that you did the past 2 years and just kind of how your team has played and how your defense has played, and you really want to just learn and grow and really I think the main thing is we have so many new guys, not young but somewhat new, that they didn't get a lot of starts but they've been in the defense for a while to make sure they understand the details, and I think really trying to take this defense to the next level.
And that was the voice of Clayton White, defensive coordinator for the Gamecocks. Welcome back into the early game on 107.5 The Game. Tyler Head, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen with you on this Monday morning. You heard Clayton White say it there, take the defense to the next level, which is something that we hear coaches say all the time. What's the process of doing that?
Well, for this particular defense, I can't speak. This particular defense, the first level is being able to stop the run. They haven't been able to do that consistently for the past 2 years. They've relied heavily on being able to force turnovers and being very opportunistic on defense, making turnovers, which is a formula for success, but that's not something that's going to be ultimately sustainable. It's done well enough for them, but if they can add the idea that they don't even have to be, the 2000 Miami Hurricanes or something. They don't have to be that defense, but in order for them to go to the next level, whatever they think that is, that's going to involve being able to stop the run.
And how big is it? Is it more important to bring back the same guys that already have experience within this defensive system, or to bring in new guys that hopefully can make that difference?
Well, it all depends on what part of their careers these guys are in. So for a lot of these guys, they're older parts in their career, but if you were not playing, you weren't playing because you were sitting behind third-round draft pick Zach Pickens, well, that's fine.
Sure.
Because this is an NFL guy, and so you're just waiting your turn behind somebody who is obviously very, very talented. But if you're somebody who's just been around the program and you haven't been able to get on the field because of your own issues, whether it's just not making plays or whatever the case is, and now you're just the next person up because we don't have anybody left, that's not necessarily a good sign. I don't know who fits into what category. My old coach used to say, sometimes there's people who start and then there's people who just start by default because we don't have anybody left.
Right.
I don't know who falls into what category.
Yeah. And obviously, again, defensive line or stopping the run is the primary concern about that needs to be fixed on this defense prior to this season starting. One thing you do feel really good about, though, is the back end of the defense. And here is Coach White talking about the value of experience, especially at the safety position.
It's very valuable to me. It's one of those things. Is just I know this defense is, every position is very important, but the safeties are super important in this defense, and I'm super blessed, and we all are blessed just to be around those two young men. And they're both hungry. They both love it. They both want to get better every day, and I think that's the best part about it.
And those two men obviously being Nick Eamon-Wari and DQ Smith, two guys that just exploded on the scene for the Gamecocks last year in their freshman season. And again, they're only going into year number 2, but the experience that they had last year is going to be such an anchor for what this defense is going to be in 2023.
Having those guys back there, being able, first of all, them being more experienced, them having a year under their belt in the SEC, a 1 year with the defensive packages, they can make all the adjustments. And that's what safety's main job, especially DQP, the free safety. He's going to be the one back in the deep third of the defense. He's the one that's going to be making adjustments with the defenses, with the corners, adjusting the motions, adjusting to all the different trying tricks that the OCs play. So having those guys back there is of a tremendous value, not to mention that they're two of the best players on the team. But I would like to ask Coach White, every position is important. These guys are super important.
What makes them super important?
What's the next? Is there a level above super important? Is super important the top level? Can you rank the defensive positions in order in your defense? I would like to know.
Now you're a coach yourself. If you were saying that, what would that mean coming out of your mouth?
Well, for instance, in some defenses, say if you're playing the old school Tampa 2 defense, Rob Marinelli, all that old school defense, every position is important, but the person who's really important is the 3 technique and the middle linebacker and the strong safety, a la, John Lynch, Derrick Brooks, Warren Sapp. Everybody else is fine.
Yeah.
But those 3 dudes are the most important. So I would wonder if, for instance, for Gamecock fans in the old school, sort of that 4-2-5 defense that Ellis Johnson ran, everybody was cool, but the most important person was the spur position. Devontae Holloman, Antonio Allen. Everybody else was good, but that person was the person that stirred the drink. So I don't know who it is for this defense, and if I was there, I would just have to follow. Okay, coach, I appreciate you, but for real, who's the most important person?
Now, did any of your coaches ever say your position was super important?
I never played those positions.
Never played those positions.
Nah,
you're just down in the trenches. Nobody cares about
our
y'all.
positions are noticeable if we get the ball run on us for sure. But
no, it's more noticeable when you're doing something wrong.
Exactly.
Well, why'd you let that guy run for 10 yards? Why'd you let him score a touchdown?
They're just running the ball up the middle. Yes, they are. Nose guard definitely not one. I mean, it is important in the scheme of things. And to his point, yes, every defense, everybody has a position. Everybody has responsibilities. They all build on each other, yada, yada, yada. I get it. But there's one person on that defense, or 2, maybe it's the safeties in this defense, that really make the defense go.
Do you like the 4-2-5? Is that your favorite out of all the defensive?
It's the most efficient for the way the game's played now. It's probably the best thing because it allows you to get those 4 men on the field, especially as a defensive lineman. You always like more of your position being on the field.
Sure.
So think about it. 4-2-5. So by that logic, who probably does not like this defense the most?
Probably those in the 2, the linebackers.
Because that means that depth chart is longer. That means there's going to be fewer of them on the field. So when I was playing, we played a 3-3-5. So that means there was only 3 defensive linemen on the field. Less playing time, less snaps. I'm not saying you're not a team player, but you want to get as many snaps as possible. So I do like the 4-2-5 for the idea that you can have 4 D linemen and you're supposed to being able to have the beef up there to stop that run presence, and also at the same time being able to stop the spread passing game, which is so prevalent in today's game.
We'll see what the 4-2-5 looks like in another year here at South Carolina, and obviously hoping they can do a little bit better to stop the run this season, because, of course, to be successful in the SEC, got to be able to stuff the run.
This league.
No kidding. Literally, this league.
For sure, you have to be able to stop the run. There's no way around it. As much as we think the game is based on passing, if you look, the game is won still on the line of scrimmage. Even when we drop back 40 times a game, at the end of the day, if you can't run the ball or stop the run, you will not have sustained success in the SEC.
Absolutely. And plenty more to talk about as far as camp and preseason goes as the morning rolls along. Coming up next, though, I want to take a little step outside of college football because, Preston, we finally got a fight that's worth talking about.
Yes.
We'll talk about that next. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Friday, August 25th. Join 107.5 The Game for our football kickoff golf tournament. Our summer golf classic at Charwood Golf Club in West Columbia. 9:30 shotgun start. $100 a person, $400 for a team. Call Charwood at 803-755-2000. Lunch provided by Firehouse Subs. We'll be raffling off football tickets, Carowinds passes, and more. Our football kickoff tournament, the Summer Golf Classic, Friday, August 25th, from your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Going out, purchasing a brand new vehicle, it's almost as thrilling. Well, I got to admit, Preston, I've never scored a touchdown. I don't know the okay. I have no clue here in the studio what scoring touchdowns is like. I would imagine it's like purchasing a brand new vehicle because there's a lot of excitement. They're celebrating. Some people spike the keys and celebrate. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. And the folks at Love Chevrolet for over 60 years have made purchasing a new car a great experience. That's why they've been in business for over 60 years. Not just because they have the best deals possible, the $1,000 low price guarantee, and because they don't sell above MSRP. They haven't been in business for 60 years just because of the largest selection of vehicles, 14 acres anywhere in the Midlands. You can't find better. They've been in business because of people, their sales staff, their customer service, how they treat you, and how they make the car buying experience feel special. And that's the way it should be. And at Love Chevrolet, they adhere to that. They make sure the second you come on that lot looking for that new car, truck, or SUV until the second you leave, they're going to make sure they answer all your questions. They're going to make sure they tell you all about the technology that's in cars now and how it can improve your daily commute, and they're going to make you feel welcome. That's why I love being part of the Love Chevrolet family. So go visit Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison, between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, or you can visit them on the web, lovechevy.com. Get out to Love Chevrolet today and find new roads.
Sponsored by Security Federal Bank, helping people, changing lives since 1922. Member FDIC.
If you think all banks are the same, come experience the difference at Security Federal Bank. Security Federal Bank has unmatched customer service and a hometown feel because we're a hometown bank. Security Federal Bank, helping people, changing lives. Member FDIC.
Sponsored by Taco Bell. In the morning, Taco Bell keeps it toned down and simple, like the breakfast crunch wrap, with fluffy eggs, sausage, melty cheese, and a crispy hash brown in a grilled tortilla. Nothing too wild, just delicious. Taco Bell breakfast, served until 11 a.m.
Playing hard left you with sore muscles? Consider cryotherapy. Embraced by athletes at the highest levels, cryotherapy is known for reducing inflammation while stimulating rapid recovery. It strengthens your immune system, increases metabolism, boosting your energy, not to mention cognitive clarity, for days.
Feel better than you thought possible in just 3 to 4 minutes with cryotherapy. Schedule an appointment at Icebox Cryotherapy at 4609 Forest Drive.
Every day, you breathe in thousands of microscopic germs, allergens, and viruses. Don't let these invisible invaders make breathing through your nose impossible. Flush them out with Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, helping flush out all the nasty things that make you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Cindy, a verified Navage user who writes, "I've had such awful nasal congestion for the last couple years. I bought Navage and OMG, I can breathe again. I love this thing. Goodbye, Neti Pot. Hello, Navage." End quote. If you suffer from sinus congestion, allergies, or snoring, then Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Navage is at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The all-new Nissan Ariya is a fully loaded EV. It's brimming with style and power,
Up to 389 horses of it.
innovation, and intelligence.
E-Force all-wheel drive.
It'll pin you to your seat.
Your very plush seat.
The all-new, all-electric Nissan Ariya. E-Force cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. E-Force and 389 horsepower available on Platinum Plus. Nissan calculation using 1-foot rollout testing with long-range battery and E-Force only in sport mode with E-step off. These results are for comparison only and should not be attempted on public roads. Drive responsibly. See nissanusa.com for details.
107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
And real quick on the traffic headlines, since, it kind of helped to actually have your microphone on when you're delivering a traffic report. So let's try this again. I-20 westbound at Broad River Road, an accident. And I-77 southbound at Two Notch Road. We do have a tie-up there. 98 for the high today with some storms later. Hot and breezy tomorrow, 95. It's 72 right now. 107.5, The Game.
Ramirez on his way to second. Head first slide. Safe, and in to score is Jimenez. And another hustle double. Right over the bag at first. Now Hosey and Anderson square off. They're fighting. They're swinging. Down goes Anderson. Down goes Anderson. Ramirez went in with a head first slide. Hosey never gets upset about anything. They came up chewing. Anderson squared off. Hosey decked him.
Tom Hamilton on the Guardians radio network with that sounded like a boxing call. Down goes Anderson, down goes Anderson. Jose Ramirez, third baseman for the Guardians, and Tim Anderson, shortstop for the Chicago White Sox. Got into a little bit of a scuffle during Saturday's game after Ramirez felt he was tagged pretty hard in a slide into second base, and they threw hands, and Anderson definitely went down.
The good old baseball fight, man. Baseball might really be back. This is all I keep thinking. I'm saying, the pitch clock is moving the game along. Everybody's running. And now we're getting actual baseball fights back.
Like, that was one of the few times that I can remember a sports fight where actual good punches were landed. Ramirez, he laid him out. Anderson was wobbly kneed, being helped back to the dugout. He didn't play in yesterday's game. Like, that punch connected. And a lot of these times, that's what really gets me about these fights, whether it be in football. The football fights are the dumbest because they try and punch each other with helmets on. I don't get that.
It's just bad form.
But so many of these fights, you can tell they're waiting for their teammates to come and break it up so they don't actually have to, get physical with it. Not this one. And I shout out to the umpire that turned into a boxing ref. All right, back to your corners. Come out swinging.
He turned into Mills Lane. He was like, all right, fight. He was in there trying to break it up, and then he saw that there was. And I love the announcer talk about they squared up. That
was a good breakdown.
He was ready for that one, man.
Just keep on that one.
That's why he's a pro.
I feel like as a broadcaster, you almost kind of hope you get a moment like that where you can just step outside of your respective sport and just let me just call two guys fighting with each other.
And then he decked him. He had that right on point. Yeah, man, you don't see too many baseball fights like that, man. There's the infamous old school Nolan Ryan with the noogie with Robin Ventura. That was one. Bautista got knocked out one time. I remember that. That was a couple years. I was 5 or 6 years ago now.
There was one with David Ortiz a while back that I remember.
All right.
I thought that was a pretty good one. But it's very rare. And a lot of that's shoving and, guys getting pulled apart and stuff like that. This was actual
yeah, man. And let's please keep it here. It was a baseball fight, controlled environment. It's a lot of fun for everybody. Let's not have any outrageous think pieces about the state of the nation or something like that. It's just a nice little baseball fight.
Shout out to the guys in the bullpen showing up about 5 minutes later.
Yeah, because I actually don't want to fight.
All right, hour 2 of the early game coming up next. 107.5 The Game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock Athletics Director Ray Tanner, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game,
a Cumulus media station.
Preston Thorne here for the Red Shirt Guys Roofing, where they believe roofing is a craft, not a commodity. They are committed to staying up to date on the latest installation techniques and products. That's why they are the Midland's highest rated roofing company. The Red Shirt guys do the right thing on and off the roof, and they will be here long after the job is complete. Residential or commercial, choose the Red Shirt guys roofing. Request a free quote online or call them 243-3968. TheRedShirtGuys.com.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips for Integrated Media. College and pro football season is here. Are you ready for all the changes to how you view your favorite team's games this season? You know, some college games are only being streamed on ESPN Plus. Are you ready? Did you know Sunday Ticket is moving from DirecTV and only available to stream on newer smart TVs, Apple TVs, and Rokus? Are you ready? Integrated Media is the leader in the latest in streaming technology, and they have the knowledge to set you up for the easiest experience. From upgrading your home's Wi-Fi for strong coverage to watching the game, helping you set up your new ESPN Plus account and Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. Give the guys a call at 803-948-8327 and be ready for the upcoming season. Integrated Media sells everything from the TV, the speakers, the whole home Wi-Fi, even security cameras, so you don't have to waste time at a big box store. Call them today at 803-948-8327. Secure your football season with Integrated Media.
The 2023 Gamecock football season is almost here, and there's no better place to be on a fall Saturday than at Williams-Brice Stadium. Secure your tickets today to catch a game. Visit thegamecockclub.com for more information on season tickets, single game tickets, and our mobile passes. Options start as low as a $20 monthly subscription. Visit gamecockclub.com to learn more. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game.
Staples has big savings on everything you need for back to school or stocking up the office. Save on all your school essentials from notebooks to markers. Save on everything you need for travel, like luggage, portable tech, and travel-size personal items. Plus, save on signs, banners, and posters from Staples print and marketing services. And now at Staples, you can save even more with 50% back in rewards on your print order. Get everything for the office and the classroom for less at Staples. Ends 8/12. Rewards members only. Rewards redeemable in-store only. See associate for details.
Dad, I don't feel good.
I'll grab the Vicks DayQuil Kids Honey.
Isn't DayQuil just for parents?
Actually, Vicks DayQuil Kids Honey is just for kids, specially designed to treat kids' most bothersome cold symptoms quickly with a honeylicious tasting flavor kids like.
You know what else kids like?
DayQuil Kids Honey first, then video games.
Deal.
Vicks DayQuil Kids Honey, the kids' honeylicious daytime coughing, congestion, stuffy head, stuffy nose medicine. Safe for ages 6+.
Achieve an insanely clean home with Zerorez Carpet Cleaning. Call now and mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game to get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129 or schedule online at ZerorezColumbia.com.
What you're talking about
on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. No hassles, no all-day runarounds, no ridiculous add-on stickers. At Love Chevy, buying a car is fun. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game
with Bill Gunter.
That was a segment on the number 3.
And 13.
I was gonna say.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne and Jen Jensen.
And all I'm hearing is the Sesame Street song, you know, and this brought to you by the number 3,
There you
the
go.
letter B, you know, whatever the case may be.
There you go.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
How about that? How about that for quality radio during the summertime? Welcome to the early game.
Idiocracy.
107.5
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
The Game.
Welcome back into the early game, hour number 2. Tyler Head in for Bill Gunter alongside Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen on the other side of the glass. See Preston, you laughing at a Messi highlight?
Yeah, it's just it's a little bit ridiculous. It looks like the best player in the world.
It looks like the other guys aren't even trying. It really does.
It's pretty wild watching this because every time, and I'm not even tuned in that frequently, but he scores multiple goals every single game.
Yeah. You know, there's always this debate about how seriously MLS soccer is taken around the world compared to, like, you know, the leagues in Europe and so on and so forth. And I think Messi coming over here kind of shows the disparity in the talent level. And again, Messi's been playing for a long time. You can even argue maybe he's not even the best he's ever been, but he's still making it look pretty easy.
He looks like he's playing on all pro, not all pro mode. He's just playing
Like on FIFA, like on rookie mode or
yeah,
something.
he's playing on rookie mode.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's pretty fair. It allows him to go grocery shopping and not get mobbed by people. So as long as he's happy and obviously making a boatload of money.
Listen, and that's what I'm sure people are paying to go see him score, and he's giving them goals of plenty.
That I forget who they were playing this weekend. That was an away game, and it may well have been a home game for Inter Miami with how the crowd was reacting.
Awesome. It almost has a Harlem Globetrotters-esque look to it. The way he's just scoring that will and doing whatever he wants to do with it.
A little bit from the standpoint of like, wow, I could never do that. I've never thought of it that way. That's a good way to put it, though.
It just looks unstoppable. It just looks like there's a bunch of the Washington Generals are playing against
Now is he going to start spinning the ball on his foot or something like that?
That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like he's doing.
That's good. And obviously, Messi to Inter Miami coming to America is one of the bigger sports stories of the entire year. But one of the most intriguing ones over these past couple of weeks has been what has gone on with the Pac-12 and the now mass exodus of schools. And this story has been so all over the place. So Colorado leaves a couple of weeks ago, and then the debate was, okay, who's going next? And it's like, all right, is Arizona going to go to the Big 12 or is Oregon going to go to the Big 10? And it just goes back and forth on maybe they will, maybe they won't. On Friday, right, during my hour at 10 o'clock, I'm literally talking about what I had read that morning that said, okay, these 5 schools probably going to leave the Pac-12. Then as I'm talking about it on the air, I'm reading on Twitter looks like these schools might actually stay in the Pac-12 after all. And then a couple hours later, everybody's gone. So you have Oregon and Washington going to the Big 10, and then Arizona State, and Utah all heading to the Big 12. This story has just been so much of a roller coaster back and forth. And now, at least for the time being, what's done is done.
Here's the biggest issue with X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Following stories like this that are happening because your timeline is not chronological.
Sure.
I saw 6 hours ago that all of a sudden everybody in the Pac-12 looks like we're going to have it together. We're all staying together.
We're all good.
Immediately after that, everybody's leaving. But I seen them in different orders, and so I don't know what's actually going on. So I had to go to another site to try and figure out what is happening, what's the breaking news, because the news was breaking so quickly. And it's just difficult to follow any particular story, especially if you're waiting for it to be in chronological order.
And the funny thing now about Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, is you don't have to follow people for their tweets to show up on your timeline consistently. If you are engaging enough with their content, like clicking on their tweets, going to their profile, whatever, it'll automatically say, okay, you're interested in what this person has to say. We're going to start putting it on your timeline. So there's like 5 journalists from all over the country that I'm not following at all, but their tweets routinely kept going to the top of my timeline, and which was okay because they were the ones that were kind of on top of all this. But yeah, like every time I would update Twitter, I felt like the story was changing. Like, well, they're going. Now they're not going. Well, they're going. Now they're not going. And finally, and we're not done with talking about this because there's still some questions to be answered. But as of right now, Oregon and Washington head to the Big 10. Again, the Arizona schools in Utah heading to the Big 12. And from a logistics standpoint, the Arizona schools in Utah, Big 12, it's not that far. Oregon and Washington, you now have 4 Big 10 teams on the West Coast. That's insane.
Yeah, and we over here on the East Coast tend to underestimate how far everything is on the West Coast. I mean, it is a far flight to get out to Seattle. It's 6-7 hours. I mean, you can go to England for the same amount of time.
Sure.
And even the travel within the Pac-12, Pac-10, Pac-4, whatever it is
we need
now,
we need to take the numbers off these
it's just
conferences.
over. Yeah, just take that off. Even travel within the conference, to travel from, say, Stanford to Oregon, it's still like a 4-hour flight.
Yeah.
Because the West Coast is so vast, it's huge. And so for them to have to make those travel concessions consistently is obviously not going to be to the benefit of anybody.
And obviously we know that this all stemmed from the media rights deal that the Pac-12 was attempting to nail down. The latest thing that came out last week was they came to the table with an offer from Apple going exclusively streaming, with the annual payouts to the schools being somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to maybe 22, 23 million dollars. That's well below what all these other conferences are making. So the Arizona schools and Utah going to the Big 12, they're going to get to the guaranteed payout that every other Big 12 school is getting at $31.7 million, about $10 million more dollars than what they would have made the Pac-12. Oregon and Washington, though, aren't going to get the full share in the Big 10. Big 10 schools are going to be making about $65 million per school with the current media rights deal they have with Fox, ESPN, and CBS. Oregon and Washington going to start out at $30 per year with increases of $1 million per year leading up to the new deal, or leading up to the end of this deal in 30 and 31.
So these schools are getting an influx and infusion of cash, $30 million. So that's great because I'm assuming that tuition's going to go down, right?
Probably not.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the athletes are going to get paid, right?
Not from this money.
Oh, okay. Huh. So the students who go to the university are not going to benefit from this. The athletes who are playing for the university are not going to directly benefit from this. What's going on? There's a lot of money here, and it doesn't seem to be directly benefiting any of the benefactors.
Well, now maybe they can get a second TV in the locker.
Oh, yeah. We can get another slide in another facility.
Hey,
Another.
be careful with those slides. That cop in Chicago had a tough time with that one over the weekend.
If I wasn't so extremely all out, I wouldn't know what you were talking about. But yeah, he was that was a rough one for him. But the point is this, man. There's a lot of money floating around here. Everybody's getting paid except the people who are the customers.
Yeah.
Wait. So for that $30 million, I forgot one person. For this $30 million, ticket prices are going to go down, right?
Probably not.
Oh man. Okay. So the ticket prices aren't going down. The students are paying less in tuition, and then the athletes aren't getting paid. Huh. It's curious for these nonprofit organizations.
Now there very likely could be upgrades to the stadium. That money can go towards that.
That's what we're fine. Just give me less tickets. I don't need to upgrade to this.
Maybe break out a couple more uniforms. We talk about uniforms a little
We
bit.
need an alternate away jersey throwback uniform.
Exactly. Maybe you can change uniforms at halftime.
They're gonna be like, oh yeah, well, this is the throwback to when we were in the Pac-12. These are the inaugural Pac-12
and have the
uniforms.
Pac-12 patch on it like it's old school.
It's outrageous, man. And I think listen, man. We know money talks. This is what it is.
I know Southern Cal and UCLA can't be happy about two of their what were soon to be former Pac-12 associates joining them in the Big Ten, because a big thing that the two California schools were going to have was the recruiting pitch of, hey, we're the only Big Ten schools on the East Coast. You want to play Big Ten football? Come to us. Now there's 4 schools out there that can argue the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly how it works. You think you're going to be exclusive, and they're not excluding you. They're just waiting for the next opportunity to bring in more so that they can get more money. You're not special.
This also means that the Big Ten will be the first conference in Division I FBS football to have 18 teams. Now, a month or so ago, they, like the SEC, released what their scheduling format was going to be starting in 2024 with 2 California schools coming in. They literally had opponents set aside for the next, I think it was 2 seasons, maybe it was only 1. But they got to blow all that up now because you have to rethink your scheduling model, because the Big Ten does play non-conference games, but you're essentially only going to get to play half of the schools in your conference over the course of a given year. And the fact that they're abandoning divisions like all the other conferences are as well, you have the possibility of like a 3 or 4-way tie for the top of the Big Ten now.
Yeah, I saw somebody in the great infinite wisdom of TikTok break down the schedule and how they could actually make this work. And essentially was they have 18 teams, add 2 more West Coast teams, then we'll just call it Big 12, Big 10 West.
The Big 10-10.
Yeah, the Big 10-10. And there'll be a West team and there'll be a Central team, and we'll play in the Rose Bowl at the championship.
Well, and so it's funny you bring up the Rose Bowl, because a lot of people were talking about, well, guess that ends the Big Ten and Pac-12 Rose Bowl tradition. That's actually already going away because of the expansion of the college football playoff. They're no longer going to be bowl tie-ins to specific bowls based on conference because every bowl game is now going to be part of the
Yeah, they
playoff.
steamrolled over that when we got playoff expansion. So they
Yeah.
were like, all right, that's cool. Granddad hit them all. Let's go. Move them out of here. That was
Yeah.
nice. We got money to make. That's what it all boils down to.
Right. There's going to be a lot of travel for these teams out in the West Coast.
Yeah, and I've stated on here before, and I'll say it again. Football travel is the easiest travel in sports because you only travel once a week. You travel in a consistent time basis. You know exactly the day that you're playing. Yes, it is ridiculous that a team from Southern Cal might have to play Rutgers on a Saturday, but that flight is doable once a week. We get it. But when you talk about basketball, when you talk about softball, when you talk about volleyball, having to make multiple trips in a week, or having to, okay, they say, well, they're not going to make multiple trips. They're going to stay over in a hub in central Chicago. All right, well, now they're away from their classes for multiple days in a week, or they're let alone away from their friends or their family or whatever the life that they have on campus just so that they can be quote unquote amateur athletes. It does not add up. And so the solution that everybody has been bandying about, which makes the most sense, is to just let football do its own thing.
Yeah.
These can be football conferences, and then the other sports go back to smaller geographical conference that make more sense because football is a total outlier.
How tiring is football travel, though? It's something we talk about where a team like, okay, they play, 3 road games over the course of 4 weeks at the end of the season. And again, it is only traveling once a week. Is there an effect of a lot of travel in a season?
Football travel, I don't think it's that rough. I really don't, because it's really once a week. And, you travel on, say, Friday. You get to the hotel, which you get to sleep in the nicest bed way nicer bed than you probably sleep in at your room, at least back when I was there. I don't know what type of dorm rooms they have now.
Do we just stay in hotels every night?
Yeah, exactly. So it was a little bit of a reprieve from your dorm room or whatever. So I don't think football travel is very rough because
Okay.
you're on a plane. It's heavily catered.
Yep.
There's a lot of space. That's not the same as the baseball team.
Sure.
It's not the same as the basketball team. It's not the same as the softball team, which that travel can be very tiring and very
Yeah.
daunting.
Speaking of that travel, an SEC coach did speak up over the weekend about all these changes and the effects that it does have on the athletes of the other sports. And I know Preston doesn't want to be on this guy's side, but I think he has no choice. And we'll talk about that coming up next. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Like season tickets to all Gamecocks football games, baseball games, men's and women's basketball games.
Well, now you can.
It's the ultimate Gamecock season ticket giveaway, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
Not feeling like yourself? Call the Men's Clinic at 803-875-MENS. You can win tickets to every USC football game at Williams-Brice.
South Carolina punctuates a massive upset.
Every Gamecock baseball game at Founders Park.
The Gamecocks strike first, a 2-run shot for Ethan Petrie.
Every men's and women's hoops games at the CLA.
One undefeated team left in the nation. It's the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Just go to 1075thegame.com and register to win
The ultimate season ticket giveaway.
Sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina from your home of the Gamecocks. 1075 The Game.
This is Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute. My Athlete of the Weekend award goes to Davis Schneider of the Toronto Blue Jays. Freshly arrived from AAA Buffalo, the rookie second baseman set a new Major League Baseball mark by amassing, get this folks, 9 hits and 13 at-bats in its first 3 games, including a pair of home runs. That's pretty cool to be one of one, said Schneider. I'd say it's pretty hot as well. I'm Boomer Science.
CBS Sports Radio.
New Brake Best Select Pro. Professional grade brake pads and rotors from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail, the ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need, So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes? Good news. There's a new way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative. Call U.S. Tax Shield, A+ rated with the BBB, 800-391-5063 for your free consultation, and let U.S. Tax Shield protect you from the IRS.
Sponsored by Taco Bell. In the morning, Taco Bell keeps it toned down and simple, like the Breakfast Crunch Wrap, with fluffy eggs, sausage, melty cheese, and a crispy hash brown in a grilled tortilla. Nothing too wild, just delicious. Taco Bell breakfast, served until 11 a.m.
Trucks, we want trucks. New Silverados are on the ground now, and more are on the way to Herndon Chevrolet. We're taking up to $15,000 off to get you in your new truck. Stop by your hometown Chevy dealer and shop all your favorite models at prices you'll love. Find new roads at Herndon Chevrolet, or visit us online at herndonchevy.com today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
America's fastest growing fast casual restaurant, Dave's Hot Chicken, has come to Columbia. 4601 Divine Street, right next to Moe's. Dave's Hot Chicken serves juicy, perfectly fried chicken coated in a secret spice blend that will blow your mind. Don't forget about the sides either. They have perfectly crispy fries, tangy kale slaw, and a signature mac and cheese that will have you coming back for more. Don't miss out on the best hot chicken in South Carolina, Dave's Hot Chicken, 4601 Divine Street.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service. Pioneer Tree Service has more than 4 decades of helping homeowners maintain and manage trees on their property. Their skilled crew offers customized solutions that match your needs and budget. Tree trimming and tree removal can be dangerous. You need to trust the people that are doing the job. Before attempting to remove limbs, call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote. They remove limbs safely and make sure that future growth is directed away from potential trouble areas such as roof lines and driveways. Cutting down trees takes more than a chainsaw. Even branches can weigh thousands of pounds, and their removal must be handled with care. Pioneer Tree Service offers a full complement of state-of-the-art heavy equipment, from track hose to bucket trucks to safely remove trees and stumps from your property. And no matter where you live, the Gantt girls can get there. And I want you to call them at 803-794-8253.
Mix a little sports analysis, pop culture, and great interviews, and you've got the Rich Eisen Show podcast.
The Jets are bracing themselves into doing Hard Knocks this year.
Bracing themselves. Look, coaches want to control the controllables. They don't want to have a camera crew in the building. You know, I know that they want to lie low. This is what happens when you go and swing for the fences and get Aaron Rodgers. Are you kidding me?
The Rich Eisen Show podcast, wherever you listen.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Enterprise Parkway at Platte Springs Road, there's an accident there. Also, I-20 westbound at Broad River Road, you will find a tie-up that might be slowing you down a little bit. Later storms this afternoon, 98 for the high, hot and breezy tomorrow, 95 for the high, less humid by Wednesday, and a high of 94, 72 right now, 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios, this is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory, and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
All right, this is Preston here. Let me tell you about my friends at Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. If your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. Cracked windshields, no problem. They'll come out to your location to replace it for you, usually for free, and they work directly with the insurance to take away the headache. So if you're looking to increase the value of your home with new windows or mirrors, Absolute Glass will come out and take care of all of that for you. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. I say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. Tyler, I have a proclamation to make.
All right.
Moving forward until October 23rd, I would like to call a truce.
Okay.
I'd like to call a truce between myself and Eli Drinkowitz.
You said his name correctly.
That's right. Eli Drinkowitz. We are on truce. I'm waving the white flag for the moment until game week. You've officially earned yourself out of being called Eli Dorkowitz. I will not repeat that from this point moving forward. I will correct anybody who says it moving forward.
Will you leave it open, though, that for the opportunity to revisit the name if he does anything
that is
makes
true.
him earn it?
He
So,
does
like,
ha-
maybe...
That is true.
So he's on like a probationary
He's on
period.
probationary period. That's why I said it's a ceasefire. Ceasefire, just a ceasefire. We're going to hold up and make sure everything, because Eli had some things to say.
Yes, he did. He spoke on, I believe this was on Friday as all this realignment stuff was happening heading into the weekend, on his thoughts on the effect this has on, as we were talking about in the last segment, some of those other student athletes. Here's what Drinkwitz had to say.
All right, I'm going to say it. I thought the transfer window, I thought the portal was closed. That's just for the student athletes. The adults in the room get to do whatever they want, apparently. And it's, it's just sad that there's, my question is, did we count the cost? I'm not talking about a financial cost. I'm talking about, did we count the cost for the student athletes involved in this decision? What cost is it to those student athletes? We're talking about a football decision. They based off football, but what about softball and baseball who have to travel cross country? Do we ask about the cost to them? Do we know what the number one indicator of symptom or cause of mental health is? It's lack of rest and sleep. Traveling in those baseball, softball games, those people, they travel commercial. They get done playing at 4. They got to go to the airport. They come back. It's 3 or 4 in the morning. They got to go to class. I mean, did we ask any of them? Are we going to look back? I don't worry at all about the game. The game is going to be strong. Football is going to be fine. We'll all figure it out. But did we consider the people that we are entrusted with? Did we consider the student athlete? Because then we're asking them to go out on their own to get NIL. We didn't say we're going to revenue share. We're not saying they're getting a piece of it. So that's the thing that's bothering me right now in this whole situation is we keep trying to limit what the student athlete can do, but then we act on our own. And everybody's got their own reasons. And I'm not questioning any of those. I'm saying as a collective group, have we asked ourselves, what's it going to cost the student athletes? I saw on Twitter several student athletes talking about one of the reasons they chose their school was so that their parents didn't have to travel. They chose a local school so that they could be regionally associated so their parents could watch them play and not have to travel. Did we ask them if they wanted to travel from the East Coast to the West Coast? Man, I love the game, but every game that I coach, I look up in the stands and find my family. I make sure they can play. I make sure they can be there because that's what I'm doing this for. And you're talking about volleyball, baseball, softball, track. I mean, all those other sports, man, they're not fortunate to travel like the way we do. Football will be fine. Still, we count the cost of the collateral damage of everybody else. I don't know. Only time will tell, but that is my biggest, looking at it going 24 hours after, say, did we really think about that? I don't think we did.
And that was Eli Drinkwitz talking on Friday about all this realignment stuff, and a lot to unpack from what he said there. But one thing that stuck out to me is, a lot of these athletes pick schools based on where their parents come see them play. And if I'm a baseball player at Oregon, obviously parents come to home games, but we got a road trip to Pullman, Washington. It's not too far. Maybe they can come up there and watch series this weekend, but we're going on the road to Rutgers or Maryland or something like that. That's not quite as easy of a trip. And not to mention what that travel is going to be like from going the East Coast to the West Coast, maybe multiple times over the course of a couple of weeks. And I'm sure they're going to do their best as far as creating the schedules to limit that, but it's something you can't avoid altogether.
Yeah, and to put a punctuation mark on what Eli said was, I would just take it a step further and say, yeah, they thought about it. They just didn't care.
Sure.
They thought about it. They know. They just said, how much? 30 million? Okay, let me get that.
Yeah.
We'll deal with the collateral later. Or we'll just figure it out later. But give me the money now. So to kind of even let them off the hook and saying, I don't know if we really thought. Yeah, they thought about it. They just don't care.
Yeah.
That's one thing. The second part of what he said, which was pretty poignant, is that every athlete does that same routine. Even in a stadium full of 80,000 people at Williams-Brice, you can't necessarily see your parents, but you know where the parent section is.
Sure.
And you see them. That's why the Gamecock Walk is so important. So you see them coming into the games, and you hug your parents, and you hug whoever came to the game from your family, which they could probably drive to in the Southeastern Conference. So, you might be in Kentucky, and just being able to walk off the bus and see your family, that's a comforting thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's for support and knowing that. And so the idea that, maybe your parents can't travel from, I don't know, California to Rutgers, or from Oregon to Michigan, wherever, first off, they can't afford to do that, whether that's through money or actual time. Yeah. So the point is, no, yes, they did think about it, and no, they don't care.
I think I looked up the distance on Friday after all this became official from Eugene, Oregon to Piscataway, New Jersey. It's about 2,800 miles.
Give or take.
Little far.
Like I'm saying, that is a long flight. That is far, far away.
And, he brings the point. Look, football is going to be fine, as he mentioned. The game itself is not going to change. What we see on Saturday for, 3 hours is not going to look any different. But everything else going on is what is going to change it. And maybe for football, yes, that is a lot of travel. But as you mentioned, only doing it once a week won't be as bad as some of these other sports. And I think about like basketball, playing midweek games on Tuesday and Wednesday nights where, okay, and let's not even use the extreme of going from coast to coast here, but if I'm Washington and I'm playing a Tuesday night game at Michigan State, like that's still a long flight over there. Play the game. I don't know. You wrap up at 10, 11 o'clock, would it be Central Time at that point? But then you're flying back, as he mentioned, you're getting home at 3, 4 in the morning, and these guys still got to go to class at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., whatever it may be. And sure, doing that once may not be a huge deal, but when you do that over the course of the season, that really starts to wear on you.
Also, he mentioned the fact that they fly in commercial. Has anybody out there been through the airports recently?
Yeah.
What are the chances of there being delays,
cancel flight,
sitting on tarmacs, cancel flights? Can they get a flight at this time? Is this going to be the red eye? Do they have to connect through somewhere? Not a lot of straight direct flights going from, I don't know, North Chicago to Pullman or something like that. That's not really the thing. So, yeah, as I said, they thought about it and they said, nah, we'll make this decision.
Well, with that extra money, maybe each team could get their own private jet. Probably not.
They still going to fly commercial.
Still going to fly commercial.
Absolutely.
The coaches perhaps might say, no, we'll take advantage of it since we have that plane available. Maybe we should just, for the ADs or something like that.
Yeah, well, they won't be flying commercial.
Exactly. They'll be the ones who will say, we'll take one for the team. We'll go ahead and use the private jet.
We'll meet you there.
Yeah,
that's right. Well, so you've called a truce with Coach Drinkwitz.
Yes, there's a truce with Eli Drinkwitz from this point moving forward until game week. You will be back but that'll just be old-fashioned trash talking. However, like I said, it's a ceasefire. Quit while you're ahead, Eli.
As we were sitting here listening to that, I was watching you listening to Drinkwitz, and I kept thinking of the Shaq meme of "I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game." Like that's my thought on how you're feeling about Drinkwitz right now.
Yeah, man. And listen, what did it say? A broken clock is right twice a day.
I guess so.
Eli, he nailed it, man. And listen, man, sometimes it can be you listen to the message Take it away from the messenger. And he nailed it. He was 100% on point with what he said. And I think more coaches need to speak out and say what they're thinking. More coaches of authority.
Yeah.
Because the football this is a 100% football decision. And so
Right.
the football coaches need to be speaking out and using their platforms to take cover for the rest of the coaches at their university.
Absolutely. But for the time being, what's done is done, and we'll see what effect it ends up having on the student athletes and everybody else involved. Coming up next, we'll dive a little bit more into what this means for the Pac-12 or what's left of it. But real quick, I want to let you know about the Ultimate Gamecock season ticket giveaway that is live right now on 1075thegame.com. Just go to the website, click on the Ultimate Season Ticket image on the media roll, fill out the form for your opportunity to win. You'll get tickets to every Gamecock home football game, men and women's home basketball games, and all the Gamecock home baseball games once the spring rolls around. Don't miss your chance to win the Ultimate Gamecock season ticket giveaway right now on 1075thegame.com. We're right back with more of the early game on 1075 The Game.
Have you missed any of the early game?
You can catch up by going to the early game on demand page at 1075thegame.com.
Or by downloading our 1075 The Game app on iTunes or Google Play.
All right, it's 25 days till football season, 26, 25, 24. The countdown is happening. So you need to get yourself ready with integrated media. You need to get your outdoors ready. Summer is almost gone. Football season is here. So get your Samsung Terrace TVs. You get them waterproof, outdoor speakers for TV and music, Wi-Fi that works indoors and outdoors, or my favorite, to control all your devices from just one remote. From home theater setup to adjusting your thermostat or monitoring your security systems from your cell phone. Integrated Media is the company to call. So call Nathan and Michael at 803-948-8327. That's 803-948-8327. Or check them out online at integratedmediainc.com. That's online at integratedmediainc.com.
Ollie wants you to hit a hole-in-one for Oliver Gospel Mission. You're invited to the 15th Annual Charity Classic. Your hole sign, a team of 4, will give meals and care for hungry neighbors in our community. That's why we need your church, business, or group of friends to help us golf for good this October 2nd. Go to olivergospel.org to see how you can volunteer and sponsor today.
Can you imagine a world without junk?
A world where there's room to breathe and stretch out and play.
A world with enough room to laugh and live and love.
You have the power to make that world happen.
And that power is in your forefinger.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Invite us to your house.
We'll only be there a few minutes.
Any home or apartment.
Workplace or job site.
We're industrial strength magicians.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Pedale Wine Pool and Spa is your one-stop shop for all things swimming pools and hot tubs. New construction of vinyl, fiberglass, or gunite swimming pools, as well as liner replacements, weekly maintenance, repairs to existing equipment, or upgrades. Come see us at 5541 Sunset Boulevard to check out our full line of spas and where we offer free water samples and all the chemicals you need to keep your pool and spa clear and clean. Pedale Wine Pool and Spa. You'll find us on Facebook or online at PedaleWinePools.com.
Yes, we're stranded off the Main Street exit northbound. How fast can you be here?
I just want to check under the hood while we wait.
Hold on just a sec. Honey, it's dark out. I don't think it's a good idea to get out.
I'm sure it'll take them a while.
They're here?
Wow.
We're not that fast, but we're pretty close. When you're in a pickle because you drive a lemon, call Schroeder's Towing. Don't be left on the side of the road distressed. That's Schroeder's Towing with over 1,200 Google reviews. Call now at 772-7930.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest bookers in town.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights. Here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods. Here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all. Here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, don't you soft on the party. This is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistible soft. and having nice. My crib is always soft. It's our party vibe. She's everything, so our chicks feel fly. So what? Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
When you come home to a floor covered in water, a backed up bathroom, or a water heater break, call Pulliam Restoration. We handle all water emergencies, including attics and crawl spaces. At Pulliam Restoration, we have the guaranteed fastest response time and pride ourselves on getting to you in minutes, not hours. I'm Robert Pulliam. An emergency to you is an emergency to us. It's your choice who you use in an emergency. Choose Pulliam Restoration. We're ready 24/7. Pulliam247.com or call us at 803-PULLIAM.
Gamecock Nation, this is Spencer Rattler. I'm back for a reason. I came back for my teammates. I came back for my city. I came back to compete. I came back to win. We have unfinished business. Dick Dyer Mercedes-Benz Volvo on Two Notch Road. Be an original, buy an original.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
And taking a look at the traffic conditions out there, of course, still tied up at St. Andrews Road at Lake Murray Boulevard from that water main break. So that intersection, there are some detours going through there. Just keep that in mind. I-20 westbound at Broad River Road, an accident there. And Enterprise Parkway at Platte Springs Road, an accident as well. Some storms coming in later on this afternoon or this evening. 98 will be our high, but right now it is 75 at 107.5 The Game.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. 1075 The Game.
Welcome back into the early game on 107.5 The Game. Tyler Head in for Bill Gunser once again. He will be back on Thursday alongside Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen on the other side of the glass producing, continuing on our conversation about everything revolving around all this realignment talk. And now we wonder what happens with, can we even call it the Pac-12 anymore? It's only going to have 4 teams as it stands right now once we go into 2024.
Pac-4?
Maybe.
4-pack?
But you can't have a conference with only 4 teams in it. That just doesn't
It's a round
work.
robin tournament.
I guess.
We're just playing in a bracket. Yeah, I don't know, man. Everybody's looking as they were, right? They were all looking to figure out where they were going to land from that point moving forward. I don't know what those schools are going to do or where they're going to go, but a 14 conference doesn't work.
And you feel for all 4 of those teams, and the only ones left are Stanford, Cal, Oregon State, and Washington State. And it literally, they just weren't attractive enough to these other conferences that got left behind.
Well, that is what I think everybody should be starting to pay attention to, because if your school is not one of the ones that can command this type of attention, you're going to get left behind too. And I said it before, we think, we being us, South Carolina, we feel like we're safe because we're in the SEC.
Sure.
But we're in the middle tier of the SEC. And there is a foreseeable future where the leagues continue to consolidate and we grow from, we have these big 20 in the SEC. Now we have a super league of 16 teams. And South Carolina gets cut out of that. So there is a world where if your university or team or whatever we're going to, corporation, whatever we're calling them, if you're not in the number, then you're not going to make it. So that is what I think people should be paying attention to, especially schools like us who are in the middle tiers of their conferences.
Yeah, no, definitely something that you got to keep your eye on, because you just never know how these things go. We never thought we'd see an entire conference completely go under. We are definitely on the cusp of that. So again, the question is, how does the Pac-12 survive going forward? The only option that I see at this point in time is merging with the Mountain West Conference. The Mountain West already has 11 member institutions, and you combine, you get up to 15. You'd probably keep the Pac-12 name just because it's the bigger of the two. But even if you are able to combine this, there's no way that this is going to be viewed as a power conference anymore.
Well, I had to really quickly. I'm doing some quick Googling to see what's left in what is the Mountain West
So
Conference.
the Mountain West is San Jose State, San Diego State, Fresno, Nevada, UNLV, Utah State, Boise State, Wyoming, Colorado State, Air Force, and New Mexico. Not the sexiest group of names, for being honest. Now, San Diego State was one of the teams that, before all this blew up, a month ago was attempting to join the Pac-12, but of course the media rights deal didn't get done in time, so they for a couple of weeks they were left out on their own because the Mountain West was like, you were going to leave us. We don't want to accept you back in. Now
Look
they
at
eventually
God.
did.
San Diego State, they were in a weird spot where they left and they didn't have anywhere to go.
They literally, if they were just stayed where they were, then the Pac-12 would be coming to them. But I know it's
whoever
weird.
that executive's got a reprieve for sure because they were in a tough situation because they were the folks that would tell them like, no, we're not going to the. Oh yeah, we didn't tell you we were leaving.
Right.
Blah blah blah.
That I was kidding about that.
Yeah. So sometimes you don't get what you want. And that's for the best because that would have been a sad place to go if they were going to be one of the like, hey, Pac-12, Pac-10, what's up, guys?
Right.
Nobody's here.
Yeah. So again, the most logical explanation or most logical next step would be for these two conferences to combine, probably still call it the Pac, whatever, just for the namesake of it all. But again, when you're talking about, and we're getting ready to go into an expanded playoff in 2024, there's no way this conference is going to be viewed the same as now what is essentially all super conferences, where you have 16 teams in the SEC, the Big 12, 18 teams in the Big 10. The ACC hasn't changed, but you still have big names like obviously Florida State and Clemson over there, and then you're just going to have this other conference out west that nobody's really going to care about from a national perspective.
For sure. And that's going to be that's always the threat of consolidation because we're focusing our eyes and attention on one thing. And now, as you was naming off those schools, I was thinking, yeah, those are my 9:00 games on Saturday.
Yeah.
Utah State versus Nevada.
Sure.
Or Colorado State versus Fresno. Those are the games that that I would have watched.
Yeah.
In happenstance, but not going to be paying attention.
And in most years, and Boise State was routinely that BCS buster for many years, where they were routinely up there in the top 10. But then the question of them was always their strength of schedule. And it's like, yeah, will they play in the Mountain West or the WAC or whatever it may have been? The quality of opponents they're playing is not all that great. Again, when you're looking at Stanford and Cal, who are down pretty bad right now, Wazoo's maybe on the come up with their new head coach. Oregon State's not terrible. They're decent. But now the quality of how they're going to be viewed by this prospective playoff committee next year, if any of them are going to be in the mix for the playoffs, has diminished completely because of the level of opponents they're going to play. Instead of playing Washington, Oregon, Southern Cal, UCLA, now they're going to be playing Fresno State, New Mexico, and Wyoming.
Right. And a lot of the thing that was driving this realignment talk was guaranteed berths, the expanded playoff system, having that say in that conversation.
Yep.
And so essentially we talked about the expanded playoffs making the regular season not count. These teams really, unless they go undefeated and they still might have the opportunity, are essentially excluded from having an opportunity to compete for a national championship.
And that's going to be interesting too, is to see how the playoff structure might change because of this, because as it stands right now, the 4 highest ranked conference champions, or the 6 highest ranked conference champions, get locked in. So the 5 Power Fives and then the 1 highest Group of 5. But again, this is essentially going to be a merged Group of 5 conference. So are you now guaranteeing 2 Group of 5 conference champions get in? This is more questions that have to be answered.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're gonna try and figure that out, but we might strike a system before we even had a chance to do it because all of this stuff was already in motion.
Right. So something to keep an eye on as time goes forward on these questions that we still need answered. Come back on the other side, wrap up hour number 2. Got a commitment over the weekend from a future signing class. Talk about that coming up next. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
How would you like season tickets to all Gamecocks football games, baseball games, men's and women's basketball games?
Well, now you can.
It's the ultimate Gamecock season ticket giveaway, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
Not feeling like yourself? Call the Men's Clinic at 803-875-MENS. You can win tickets to every USC football game at Williams-Brice.
South Carolina punctuates a massive upset.
Every Gamecock baseball game at Founders Park.
The Gamecocks strike first, a 2-run shot from Ethan Petrie.
Every men's and women's hoops games at the CLA.
One undefeated team left in the nation. It's the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Just go to 1075thegame.com and register to win
The ultimate season ticket giveaway.
Sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina from your home of the Gamecocks. 1075 The Game.
Sponsored by Audible. Boost your imagination with Audible. Listen to the biggest selection of audio entertainment, from celeb memoirs to motivation and more. Audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. There's more to imagine when we listen. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
Life Matters. On August 7th, 1942, a friend of mine waded ashore with the 1st Marine Division onto the island of Guadalcanal. Though the Marines landed unopposed, that condition did not last long. Guadalcanal became the longest battle of the Pacific War, lasting 6 months and costing 1,600 American lives. 4,200 were wounded, and over 5,000 Marines were incapacitated with malaria. Etched on a mess kit found at a Guadalcanal cemetery were the following words: "And when he gets to heaven, to St. Peter he will tell, 'One more Marine reporting, sir. I've spent my time in hell.'" To the ever-decreasing number of World War II veterans, please accept our thanks for your service in a war that's almost out of memory for some. This day we remember you along with our veterans of other wars, and we say thank you for keeping us free. This is Pastor Stephen Chitty of Christian Life in Columbia. Remember, life matters, and so do you. Go to clcolumbia.com for in-person and live streaming service times.
It's the Love Chevrolet Countdown to Gamecock football. 26 days till kickoff. No games, no add-ons, no surprises. No wonder so many people buy with confidence at Love Chevy, home of the $1,000 low price guarantee.
I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com.
Find new roads.
Swim season is here. That means making sure your pool is ready to be used. Call Corley Pool Solutions today. 803-445-8109. Let Tracy Corley, with over 20 years of experience, help maintain your pool and have it ready to use this afternoon. Give them a phone call, 803-445-8109. Corley Pool Solutions will treat and maintain your pool, and they'll do it all for a flat rate price, including all of the chemicals. Call Corley Pool Solutions today, 803-445-8109.
This is Larry Lightner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Liner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a
You
peek.
need a job, but you want a career that lasts a lifetime. The Charleston County Sheriff's Office has that career, so come and get it. With a high school diploma, you can become a detention deputy and jumpstart your career in law enforcement. You'll get benefits and pay raises. You can climb the ranks at our full-service agency. Visit ccsojobs.com or text 888-210-9756 to apply. Visit ccsojobs.com or text 888-210-9756 to apply. Come join us in service beyond the call.
Hedale Wine Pool and Spa is your one-stop shop for all things swimming pools and hot tubs. New construction of vinyl, fiberglass, or gunite swimming pools, as well as liner replacements, weekly maintenance, repairs to existing equipment, or upgrades. Come see us at 5541 Sunset Boulevard to check out our full line of spas and where we offer free water samples and all the chemicals you need to keep your pool and spa clear and clean. Hedale Wine Pool and Spa. You'll find us on Facebook or online at HedaleWinePools.com.
restrictions.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
And another look at your traffic conditions out there this morning. St. Andrews Road at Lake Murray Boulevard, that continues to be a problem due to that water main issue. Also, Enterprise Parkway. So in that St. Andrews Road at Lake Murray Boulevard, they do have detours there. So just keep that in mind. Allow a little extra time. An accident also, Enterprise Parkway at Platte Springs Road. 98 will be our high today. Some storms may be popping in later on. Hot and breezy tomorrow, 95 for the high. Right now, it's warming up quickly. It is 77 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Back in on the early game on 107.5 The Game. Tyler head in with Preston Thorne once again. Jen Jensen on the other side of the glass. I mentioned this just for the break. The Gamecocks did pick up a commitment over the weekend. Landon Duckworth, quarterback from Jackson, Alabama, committed to the Gamecocks. The only thing, he's class of 2026. So we
How
have
much do we count on that?
we have a little while to wait before he ever gets on campus.
What grade does that put him in?
I believe he's a rising sophomore.
All right.
If I'm doing my math correctly.
Okay.
So little bit of time.
Yeah. That'll be a while before he gets to campus. I'm sure nothing changes from the time you're in 10th grade to the time you're a senior. Talk about a long commitment. Talk about being in the road for a long time. Also, I wonder how am I trying to say this? Sure, you can commit as a 10th grader.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll accept this as a 10th grader, but what does that mean moving forward? Does anybody know?
Yeah, that's the interesting question here, and he's not been assigned a star rating by any of the recruiting outlets. So South Carolina getting in on him very, very early. If you've seen any of his highlight tapes, dual threat guy, monster arm. So obviously a lot of raw talent there. He was at the cookout that South Carolina hosted the other weekend, and I believe, if I heard correctly, he did commit to them verbally there, and then made his official announcement the other day. So if nothing else, South Carolina has gotten in his good graces earlier than anybody else. But again, we're 2 years out from him being able to sign with them at the earliest on signing day of what would then be 2025. So something to keep an eye on over these next couple of years, because again, just because somebody says they're coming to you is not a guarantee by any means. And we'll see how other schools now court him knowing he's committed to South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to want to take part in the recruiting process. So I'm not really sure what this means. It would need to really talk to the recruiting folks to know the level of attention that you probably need to pay to this. But 2026, every time I hear these commitments, I'm like, what? 2026? But I guess that's around the corner.
And again, based on his freshman tape, a lot of talent there. Something that he's going to get bigger, he's going to get stronger, he's going to get better at what he's already doing. So somebody to certainly keep an eye on over the course of the next couple of years. But yeah, these are always the funny ones because we haven't gotten anybody in the 25 class yet, or we've already got one for 26.
Breaking it down for 26. I remember when they was talking about the 24 class. I was like, man, that seems far away, but here we are.
So again, I'm trying to do the math in my head here. If he's in the 26 class, that means he's been born in like 08, 09.
Pretty soon they're gonna be like, there was a video game?
Yeah.
What was that?
That blows my mind. The fact that like incoming freshmen now were born in like 05.
Yeah. Time is very hard to get a grasp on.
It is.
For sure.
Hour number 3 coming up. We'll hit Thorns, Buds, and Roses to start off the 8 o'clock hour. And then I do see we have some folks on the phone lines. We'll get to those as well as the hour rolls along. You're listening to the early game. Tyler Head in once again for Bill Gunter. Preston Thorne alongside me, Jen Jensen on the other side of the glass. Hour number 2 coming up here on 107.5 The Game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Tony Annan, head men's soccer coach at the University of South Carolina. You're listening to 107.5 The Game, home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
There's no better place to be on a fall Saturday than at Williams-Brice Stadium. Secure your tickets today to catch a game this fall. Visit thegamecockclub.com for more information. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's a $7,500 sign-on bonus and increased pay for most security positions. Start a rewarding new career with great benefits today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply now or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
If you have tax problems and want to end the frustration of dealing with the IRS, grab a pen and take down this number. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm, located right here in the Midlands. Let us show you what it takes to solve your tax problems once and for all. The first step, which can be one of the hardest, is to take action. Do something. Call me, set an appointment, and meet with me in person. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll show you how to take control of the problem. So if you haven't filed your tax returns for years or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, John Ecton, at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Learn what it takes to solve your tax problems for good. Take that first step to a better future. Call me, John Ecton.
Locally owned Atlantic Windows and Doors has been making Columbia area homes more comfortable, attractive, weather-tight, and energy efficient for over 35 years. How? By distributing products from the best window and door manufacturers in the country. These products give you the best looks, the best quality, and the best value, all based on your specific needs. And everything is professionally installed by their dedicated and experienced employees, not subcontractors. Atlantic Windows and Doors. Visit them online at awds.com. Call
Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hostetler Brown. Do you know the difference between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust? The difference could easily save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in long-term care costs. Visit lawyerlisa.com to schedule a consultation today.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Daddy, you need a trust.
Achieve an insanely clean home with Zerorez Carpet Cleaning. Call now and mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game to get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129 or schedule online at zerorezcolumbia.com.
Snakes, rodents, and mold all live and grow beneath your home and eventually will find their way inside. Canty Foundation Specialist is your local trusted expert in crawl space sealing. Call us today for a free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Moisture and high humidity in your crawl space create an environment for mold and mildew and affect the air you breathe inside your home. Call Canty for a free inspection today at 753-1495 or visit cantycanfixit.com.
What you're talking about
on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. There are lots of places to buy your next ride, but there is no place like Love Chevy, where you never pay more than MSRP, ever. Come by and feel the difference of love. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game
with Bill Gunter.
Eli the Golden Eagle hatched out of his papier-mâché egg on November 17th, 1993, before the start of an exhibition basketball game. Exhibition.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne and Jen Jensen.
Game.
Exhibition.
I
got it the first time.
I appreciate Preston so much.
Wow. On your home of the Gamecocks.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
107.5 The Game.
Hour number 3. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game. Tyler Head in For Bill Gunter this morning, he'll be back on Thursday. Jen Jensen producing on the other side of the glass. Preston Thorne next to me, standing up. Do you always do this segment standing up? Does that help you get in the zone?
Yeah.
I think I have to stand up.
You have to
for
get
it.
like the energy
Gotta get the juices
going through your body.
Got to get it going for this.
Well, with that being said, it is time for my favorite segment of the week. That is Thorns, Buds, and Roses.
It's time for Thorns, Buds, and Roses with Preston Thorne on the early game. 107.5 The Game.
All right, here we go. Thorns, Buds, and Roses, August 7th, 2023. Thorns. One of my favorite songs, Tyler, is called I'm Afraid the Masquerade is Over.
Okay.
The myth of amateurism that the NCAA has cloaked itself in for the last 50 years has finally been laid bare to everybody. It is a fraud. It's been a racket. And now I'm glad that we can all see that it's just been a money grab from the jump. In fact, the term that we all use, student athlete, we all may or may not know that the term was concocted by NCAA lawyers so that they would get weasel out of paying workman's comp firms in the 1960s. Look it up. The term is never real. So even while Eli was using it, talking about them, he was still using a fake term to talk about the pain of the student athlete. But this latest round of conference realignment has laid bare the truth. This is a money-making corporation who will put profit first and above beyond anything and anyone else. That's including the athletes, that's including the fans, that's including the students, and least but not least all, that's including you, the lover of our crazy little niche game, disappearing in front of us. Buds, the word for Buds is consolidation. Keep an eye on the drive to make a super league. And as they consolidate with Buds, you have to prune and you have to cut. Many of us will not make that cut. I got an eye on this because the seeds have been planted and they will keep cutting and pruning until they have the perfect NFL junior league, the one that Jay's been always promising for. They're on their way to making this with minor league football, and it's here. And unfortunately, schools like South Carolina will not make that cut. So we need to be paying attention to how this is going as far as football is concerned. And last but not least, Tyler, I need 180 roses.
180, okay.
This week starts the first full school week for most districts in the state, and we need one rose for each day that the teachers will be in the classroom. I said it before, and as long as I'm on air, I will say it again. Support your students' teachers. If your child has a teacher that you appreciate, please let them know. It does them more than you could possibly understand. Tell them how good a job they're doing, because oftentimes the only time teachers hear is when they're doing something wrong. So if your child's teacher is doing a good job and you appreciate them, please let them know. Every day in every corner of our state and our country, a lot is going right in education, but we take that for granted because we see some of the things that are happening that's going on. So if your child attends a good school, understand that it's not by accident. The teachers, admin, staff, janitors, bus drivers, resource officers, all make it possible for your child. So when you're standing in the drop-off line and you're listening to us, make sure you greet them with a smile. Tell them to have a good day because they're taking care of not only your child, but many more of other people's children. Tyler, those are our thorns, those are our buds, and those are our roses for the week.
Good stuff as always. The teacher thing, I think back to how me and my friends acted in school, like coming up, and I wasn't a bad kid by any means. There were certainly bad kids in class. I don't know how people do that. How do you deal with children of all ages every single day like that?
Each year presents a challenge because every teacher will look at another teacher's grade and be like,
"Oh, I don't know how that.
I don't know how you do it elementary school. I don't know how you deal with high schoolers," and that's why they're all specifically spent to do your job. But dealing with a lot of them in a confined space is always a challenge. But most of the kids are good. Most of the teachers are great, and but a lot of work does go into making schools go.
What is and you're obviously a coach, what is the one age group that is the most difficult to get a wrangle on, in your opinion?
This is a good question. So I spent the majority of my time in high school. The most difficult times in high school are your first semester freshmen.
Yes.
Because they're still essentially babies. They're still middle schoolers. And they haven't quite figured out how this high school thing works. So they're doing little immature middle school stuff, and you kind of have to just shake them into shape. That crew, and then the next crew is second semester seniors.
Ooh, the one they're checked out.
They're already checked out.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing you can do to them. You can't say anything. You can't scare them. They know how the school operates. They know that if they're tardy, they're not actually going to get in trouble for it.
They run the place in their opinion.
So if you got to have a strong senior class in order for the school to work.
Oh man, that first semester as a freshman, it's tough.
It's rough. It is rough on them.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, you used to being the big dog in eighth grade.
Eighth grade,
you ran
like
the school.
you have that senior mindset in eighth grade. I've been here for 3 years. I know how everything goes. Look at those little pipsqueak sixth graders. Like you're on the top of the mountain, and then you go right back to the bottom.
You go right back to the bottom. The only thing is that the ninth graders usually, it only takes them a couple weeks to fall in place because this is where peer pressure and embarrassment works for the good because you don't want to be seen as like a middle schooler in high school.
Oh yeah.
So they sort of fall in line with what all the other high schoolers are doing. You just got to point to them and be like, you see, that's how high schoolers act. Why are you acting like this?
Yeah.
And they usually get it together.
And kind of similarly to like once you go to college, back in high school we did this. Stories don't usually fly anymore. It's like, well, back in middle school, you're not in middle school anymore, buddy.
Exactly. No. But for me, I would take a group of ninth graders over a group of 9-year-olds,
okay,
or even younger. A whole bunch of preschoolers, pre-K.
Oh no, couldn't do that.
Oh, so bless your heart if you're pre-K, first grade teachers. Thank you so much because that is not for me.
I think one of my favorite stories. My mom was a teacher for 32 years. I have a sister who taught for over 30 years. But I think one of my favorite stories from local with one of my I only have one daughter. I was gonna say one of my daughters, but how about just her? In middle school, she could have been a handful. And we were learning this more and more. And I remember one day having a teacher ask me to come in for a conference. Great. So went in, I opened the door. All 4 of her teachers are lined up waiting for me. I'm like, okay, this was an ambush, man. I would have brought back up with me had I known this. So I thought they must be pretty desperate if they're, like ganging up on me on this. So, and again, mad respect for the teachers because you don't want your kids to be an issue for them because they do have other people that they have other kids they have to contend with. And they're trying to teach and they're trying to give everybody attention. So anyway, so I'm with you. Mad respect for all teachers and administrators.
For sure. And also, if your child is in middle school, this will pass.
Yeah, right. It does.
I don't know anybody who loves middle school.
It's so funny to me because once you get out of high school and go on to college or whatever you do after you graduate, it's so funny how quickly you realize the things that you thought were important and that everybody cared about don't matter at all anymore. It's like, well, I wanted to have the cool shoes and the cool clothes, and I wanted to be hanging out with the right people. And literally, since I've left high school, none of that has mattered in my life.
That's why I love high school. I love high school movies so much, like Can't Hardly Wait or whatever, because it literally is actually high school.
Yeah.
And I taught high school for 11 years, and you would just see the same story play out over and over and over again. This guy gets the girl. It's the same. It was, and you'd be like, but of course to the kid, this is the first time this ever happened.
Is it like watching a TV show? You're like, oh, I know which character this is.
That's exactly what it's like. Oh, remember such and such? Okay, they're in insert person B.
It's a different actor playing him now.
It's high school is the same thing, and it's the same story that was when you were in high school. It's just the same story over and over again.
Just maybe a little dressing, a little bit different drama.
Just different clothes, different hairstyle.
Okay, now
nothing changes.
Today we're mad about what somebody put on Twitter. All right, that's a little bit different from a few years ago. But
today we're mad about something they found on Twitter before. It might have been a note that you found, or something like that, or somebody's phone call.
It evolves.
But I promise you, man, it used to be hilarious because it's like they'd be so upset and be like, "Trust me, it's gonna be fine."
That is anytime I get the chance to talk to somebody that's like in middle school to high school and they say, oh, what's your advice or what can you tell me? I'm like, forget about all the stuff, trying to be popular. It doesn't matter. The people that you're going to be friends with after high school are the people that you care to be friends with. I maybe talk to 3 or 4 people that I graduated high school with, and those are the people that I choose to talk to because they're legitimately my friends. I graduated with like 400, 500 people. I could care less what those other 396 are doing.
That's the wild part about high school is just we all have to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We're all just here.
And it's the only time you're ever going to be gathered. I think that kind of hit
you
me.
just have that gathering of this mass of people from all different places.
And you realize the people that are your friends just by association and people that are like legitimately care about your life and what you're doing and all that stuff. Because there are plenty of people I was friends with that sat at lunch table with, sat next to in class, stuff like that. Just because, again, we are all in this place together.
Yep.
We are similar enough. Sure, I'll hang out with you. But then outside of school, it's like, maybe not so much.
Yep. Yeah, man. Another
So
school year.
So your class was about 400 kids. How many was in your class,
We had a
Preston?
huge class. Some of it was huge. It was like 700 or 800.
Wow.
We only had 400 in our high school period. There were 86 in my class.
Where'd you go to high school?
Me?
Yes.
Up in Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a little town. I mean, honestly, Lexington High School has more students than my town has in population. So
Covington's about 100,000 people, somewhere around
we
there.
had a huge graduating class.
Wow.
I mean, to the point where literally there'll be people to your left and right on graduation. You're like, oh, hey, I've never seen you before.
Now,
Wow.
I did run into that when we went to like graduation practice and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know who a lot of these people are.
Yeah.
Where have these people been for the past 4 years?
And again, same thing. Huge class, small class, high school drama, still the
Oh,
same.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
all
yeah.
the same. All the same. The good old high school drama. I didn't make the team. I made the team. I didn't make the play. I made the play. It's always the same story over and over.
And the when you try and give them the advice of, well, you're not going to care about this in 5 years. No, but it's the most important thing in my life right now. Okay, sure.
And I always have to give them respect and say it is.
Yeah.
Because it is the most important thing that they have going on in their 16-year-old lives.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Good times. Good
Absolutely. We'll continue on talking about more of everything going on with Gamecock football as camp rolls on for yet another day. First full week of camp had things starting on Friday. We'll touch a little bit more on that. Coming up next, you're listening to the early game. He's Preston Thorne. I'm Tyler Head. Jen Jensen on the other side of the glass on the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Friday, August 25th. Join 107.5 The Game for our football kickoff golf tournament. Our summer golf classic at Charwood Golf Club in West Columbia. 9:30 shotgun start. $100 a person, $400 for a team. Call Charwood at 803-755-2000. Lunch provided by Firehouse Subs. We'll be raffling off football tickets, Carowinds passes, and more. Our football kickoff tournament. The Summer Golf Classic. Friday, August 25th. From your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
This Boomer Esiason with CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by WeatherGuard Truck Boxes. If it's a job worth doing, it's a job worth WeatherGuard. Today's birthday shout-out goes to Jalen Hurts. The Eagles' 25-year-old quarterback was surprised recently when asked why his phone lock screen features a photo of him walking off after losing Super Bowl 57. He wouldn't answer, but we can guess why. I'm Boomer Esiason.
CBS Sports Radio.
WeatherGuard, the name that stands for unmatched security in truck boxes, is now making a name for itself on the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series circuit. WeatherGuard is the official sponsor of the safety and security work crews at Speedway Motorsports tracks across the country. Engineered to meet the demands from job sites to race sites, WeatherGuard truck boxes feature double welded seams, weather-tight seals, and high security latches and locks. If it's a job worth doing, it's a job worth WeatherGuard. Learn more at weatherguard.com/truck.
Staples presents a lesson in back-to-school savings. Your local Staples now accepts Amazon returns. So when you return your Amazon order at Staples, you receive a coupon for $10 off your next $30 Staples purchase. So you can save even more on top of huge back-to-school deals. Like right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and marble comp books are each just 50 cents. Staples gives you more ways to save even more. 50-cent offers, limit 30 and end 8/26. Comp books in-store only. Pricing and limits may vary in-store and online. Amazon return offer in-store only.
Sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey DQ fans, the Caramel Fudge Cheesecake Blizzard treat has arrived. It's so wonderful that you won't want to miss out. Indulge your cheesecake cravings and get a heaping helping of fudge and caramel too. Try it today, only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
It's the Love Chevrolet countdown to Gamecock football.
26 days till kickoff.
No games, no add-ons, no surprises. No wonder so many people buy with confidence at Love Chevy, home of the $1,000 low price guarantee.
I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com.
Find new roads.
Hi, my husband and I own a small business in Columbia, and we ended up needing some help with some tax problems that we had and needed to get resolved. We initially owed about $300,000, and John Ecton and his law firm ended up getting us an offer in compromise, which dramatically reduced the amount owed. I would personally recommend the Ecton Law Firm. They did an excellent job for us, and if this is a concern that you're facing, they're definitely the people you should call.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
Fresh produce is the best produce. That's why at Kroger, we invest in local farmers to bring you the freshest seasonal picks. So no matter how you shop, your local produce always tastes 100% fresh, or you get a 100% refund, guaranteed. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Save with summer Freshable deals on 12-pack cans of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Canada Dry. Just $3.99 each with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey everyone, thank you for listening along this morning. It's time for a First Alert traffic update, and we do have a new accident to report on. I-26 eastbound, a crash being reported at exit 107A to get to I-20. Again, exit 107A to get to I-20 via I-26 eastbound. So please be mindful of that as you continue into your morning. We'll make sure to let you know of any other major traffic incidents. Otherwise, make it a safe travel day. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic check. I'm meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Welcome back into the early game on 107.5 The Game. Tyler Head, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen with you on this Monday morning. Press and I were just laughing a little bit coming back from that break. Get Up is on ESPN, and they were showing Baker Mayfield, who's apparently been struggling quite a bit in Bucks training camp. And the debate is it's going to either be him or Kyle Trask starting this season for the Buccaneers. And Preston, I don't think you like either one of those options too much.
Yuck. I couldn't think of, what I was trying to figure out is that a statement on the lack of quarterbacks available in the NFL, or is that just the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off of the Tom Brady hangover? Because that is a very poor choice between those two.
So I looked up free agent available quarterbacks. This is via sporttrack.com. Matt Ryan, who's joining the CBS desk.
Yeah,
he's done. Carson Wentz, who is working out over the weekend, but I'm not going to get my hopes up that he's going to get picked up.
Which one? You saw the picture?
I saw that he's wearing like a different garment from each team that he's
played
for.
He had on a Colts shirt, an Eagles helmet, and a Redskins jersey or something something along those lines.
It's kind of like one of those things like the memes put out, like build the worst quarterback ever, and it's like all these pieces from bad years for Carson. He was, up until he tore his ACL that Super Bowl year for the Eagles, he was lights out fantastic, and he just has never been the same.
Which is the key, that you can't ever assume that when somebody gets hurt that they're just going to bounce back, and that just might not happen.
Speaking of that season, Nick Foles is another quarterback not currently with the team. Chase Daniel, who has been around forever, I feel like.
A lot of money. Big money Chase.
Absolutely. No, get your bag, man. Teddy Bridgewater, free agent. Flacco. Now that Aaron Rodgers has come to the Jets, they've moved on from Flacco.
I mean, Teddy Bridgewater, your ceiling is 8-8.
Sure,
you're not going to be great at all, but you're not going to be bad, right? You'll be, okay,
right?
You know, he's not going to light the world on fire, but I guess he'll take care of the ball.
He's somebody that is very reminiscent of like Ryan Fitzpatrick, where he can piece you together a handful of games until either your starter comes back or you figure out what you're going to do going forward. But at no point do you say, yes, we're going to invest a full season in this guy being a starter. Because, like you said, at best, maybe 9-8 or something.
He's not going to win you more games than that. And especially, he's not going to be the person that you want the season to come down to. But I think Teddy Bridgewater over Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask.
Yeah. Now, Tom Brady's still listed on this website, but don't get your hopes up, Tampa Bay fans.
Nah, don't get your hopes up.
This can be the first, since 2000 is the first time we've had Tom Brady not starting the opening week.
That's fair. I mean,
because was it 08 he got hurt in week 1, I think, and then Matt Castle replaced him for the entire season. But yeah, for my entire lifetime, I've never known the NFL without Tom Brady.
That's outrageous.
It is.
That's outrageous. That's really wild. Yeah, think about that for him. He's really trying to figure out what to do with himself.
Wow, he's got plenty of things going on.
Yeah, but none of them beats being Tom Brady.
I guess so.
On the being the quarterback, the guy. All
Now-
this other stuff is like,
Now, how many weeks into the season before a team gives him a call or tries to call him? Because inevitably, there's always teams call Andrew Luck every single year. Like, hey,
yeah, and he made it clear.
You want to come?
He made it clear he wasn't coming back.
He's done. He seems pretty content with his life outside of football, and good for him, honestly. But again, teams still do that. Like, you get to week 7, week 8 of the season, like, well, our quarterback room's a disaster. See what if Andrew Luck's going to give us a chance, which they know he won't, but it's worth at least calling.
Yeah, Tom. Well, you shouldn't make that call because Tom's not coming in the middle of the season. He needs to be there at the beginning to set the tone, have everything the way he wants it to go. But yeah, I just saw that. I was like, man, Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask. If I was a Heath Klein, gonna have to ask Heath Klein about that.
Yeah,
gonna have to wind him up again and ask him about that on Friday because, man, if I was a Bucs fan, I'd be pretty disappointed.
Baker Mayfield's career in the NFL has been interesting, to say the least. It's, you come in as a top draft pick, up winning the Heisman Trophy. It seemed like things were going pretty well there in Cleveland, and then just the play dropped off.
Yeah, as I've said on the show before, top 2 sports villains according to my mother, Baker Mayfield and Jimmy Butler.
Okay,
she calls him that Baker boy.
Okay,
so she'll be hate watching the Buccaneers this year.
No,
and I don't quite know why, but
so she never gave you a formal explanation.
I think it's just that she doesn't really like people that are too cocky without merit. I think
he's pretty cocky,
and I think that was because this has been consistent since college.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt.
I'm saying her dislike of Baker.
Right. No,
It's
and
been
he's been
Yeah.
very cocky. He planted the flag at the middle
That
of
probably is
the
what-
horseshoe.
that- she doesn't like
You
that
know,
kind of
I think it was the Kansas game where he was grabbing himself, as a show of displeasure towards Kansas.
Yeah, it's those types of things. And when I think about him and Jimmy Butler, they kind of have some similarities as far as that type of stuff, and she's not a fan of that.
Trying to think what specific things Jimmy Butler has done that would rub her the wrong way.
I think she might have just got wind of the way he treated his teammates at Minnesota. And
Okay, that's fair.
I think it's anybody that's extra demonstrative, and without merit. So those are her number 2 sports villains for sure.
Feels like she's a good judge of character.
I think maybe that's what it is. But definitely on quarterbacks because Baker Mayfield's not. It's not going to work out well.
No, not at all. And he spent 7 games with Carolina last year. Not too much to show for it. They coincidentally, once they moved on from him and Matt Rule, they actually played a little bit better down the stretch.
Yeah. We'll see.
Well, the new era getting set to get started for the Panthers. They'll be starting preseason football this weekend. They'll be taking on the Jets on Saturday at 4. I believe you can see that game on the NFL Network. Bryce Young get his first chance to see him in a game situation for the Panthers.
Bryce Young was my favorite player to watch last year. I mean, over his career, but he was a magician for Alabama, and I'm very curious to see how this translates into the NFL, just for the fact that he is kind of a slight dude. Not even kind of. He's a slight-looking dude as far as stature is concerned. And I'm interested to see, even with all the protections that quarterbacks have in the NFL, if he's going to be able to stand up to that type of pounder in that league.
And I think it's good that I admire a lot of what the Panthers did this offseason with guys that they brought in, and one of them being Andy Dalton, somebody that's been around the game for a long, long time. And obviously he's not as good as he once was, but somebody with that veteran level of experience to help mentor Bryce Young and get him up to the level that he needs to be competitive in the NFL. I think that's going to go a long way. And look, I think Frank Wright's a very good head coach. Ever since Andrew Luck retired back in 2019, he's just had a revolving door of quarterbacks in Indianapolis, and it's hard to be consistently good as an organization when you don't know who your quarterback is going to be on a year-to-year basis. So I think he's still a very good coach, and I think he's going to do a lot of good things with Carolina, and I'm interested to see how things get started this weekend. And again, you take preseason games with a grain of salt, but with how bad the NFC South was a year ago, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Carolina could be a serious contender to win the division this year.
Yeah, how excited is Frank to have an actual young quarterback, a quarterback with a 2 in his name, in his age instead of 3?
You're telling me this guy could be here 3-4 years from now, and I'm not just re-signing free agent guys after free agent guys?
Because he went through that run of what? Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz,
Phillip Rivers. Yeah. Last year was especially disastrous. They had Sam Ehlinger starting a game last year, and
that's rough.
You're not winning anything with Sam Ehlinger. I'm sorry.
But even, I mean, Andy Dalton, him and Teddy Bridgewater are the same person.
Yes.
Right? Solid locker room guy. Going to come in as you said, a perfect backup for Bryce, because he's not going to be somebody that's trying to weasel his way into the lineup. You know, he's probably content with where he is in his career.
Sit on the bench, mentor this guy. We'll give you a bunch of money for it. Stay here for 3 or 4 years.
Consummate professional, by all accounts, good locker room guy. That's who somebody you need. That's why I would assume that's why I would say Teddy Bridgewater will get picked up somewhere, because again, you're not going to be great, but he'll get you through a game or two if you need it.
Panthers also over the weekend picking up 4-time Pro Bowl defensive end Justin Houston. That's going to be a nice addition to defense.
I think what Justin Houston's doing, what a lot of vets are doing, but he kind of went a little bit early, is they try and be free agents to sit out and miss camp.
Okay.
So it's like, I'm a free agent. I'm going to sign with your team, but I don't want to do training.
Yeah. Like I know what I'm doing.
You know what I do.
Yeah.
I know what it is. Just let's wait give me another 2 weeks of vacation. Then I'll come in and sign.
Yeah.
I think that's what Justin was doing. Justin is a great addition, though.
Absolutely.
Tremendous pass rusher. Some help off the edge. That'll be a big piece for them.
Yeah. No, a lot of reason to be excited this year. Bring in guys like Adam Thielen, who again is not as good as he was a couple of years ago. Miles Sanders coming off a great season with the Eagles that went all the Super Bowl, had over 1,000 yards last season. So a lot of optimism for the Panthers this year on what's a otherwise pretty dismal looking NFC South.
Can you name the quarterbacks in the NFC South?
Desmond Ridder with the Falcons.
Woof.
Derek Carr with the Saints. That's free agent acquisition of the season.
Carr, but, Saints really good.
And then I guess either Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask with the Buccaneers.
Man.
And then Bryce Young, as he pops up on our TV here, is the assumed starter for Week 1 for the Panthers.
Yeah. Okay. Very strong.
Think about where we were a couple years ago. Matt Ryan, Drew Brees, Cam Newton, Tom Brady was the quarterback of the Buccaneers. Now, not all 4 of those guys at the exact same time, but some very high star power at the quarterback position in this division. And now it's a complete 180.
And I think that just shows you how difficult it is, impossible it is to play quarterback. We can't even find 32 of them.
Yeah.
We cannot find. There's like 16 quarterbacks who could honestly, And 16 might be stretching it, but I'd say 16 quarterbacks that can probably consistently win you NFL games. Out of all the people that play quarterback in the world, there's really only about 16 of them that can win.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
That's
crazy. It's definitely crazy, and we'll see if Bryce Young ends up being one of those good ones over the next couple of years. Real quick, we're going to let y'all know about the 107.5 The Game football kickoff golf tournament, which is coming up on Friday, August 25th, out at the Charwood Golf Club in West Columbia. If you want to take part, it's $100 per team and $100 per person and $400 per team. 9:30 a.m. shotgun start. Going to have lunch provided by Firehouse Subs. Going to be raffling off all kinds of football tickets as well as Carowin passes and much, much more. If you want to take part, give Charwood a call at 803-755-2000 and 803-755-2000. But don't wait too long because this tournament is going to fill up quickly. Come back and continue on as we move along in hour number 3 here of the early game on 107.5 The Game.
How would you like season tickets to all Gamecocks football games, baseball games, men's and women's basketball games?
Well, now you can.
It's the ultimate Gamecock season ticket giveaway, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
Not feeling like yourself? Call the Men's Clinic at 803-875-MENS. You can win tickets to every USC football game at Williams-Brice.
South Carolina punctuates a massive upset.
Every Gamecock baseball game at Founders Park.
The Gamecocks strike first, a 2-run shot from Ethan Petrie.
Every men's and women's hoops games at the CLA.
One undefeated team left in the nation. It's the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Just go to 1075thegame.com and register to win the ultimate season ticket giveaway, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina, from your home of the Gamecocks. 1075 The Game.
Kids are going to be kind of tired. They got to go to school, and then you're going to be kind of tired because it's a brand new routine. And you know what? On the weekends, you're just going to want to relax. You're going to want to hang out at your house and lay around in that personal pool you have out back. You know, that thing that you use when you want to see the family. Maybe you want to use it as a little ambiance and grill out and have people over. Maybe you got an end of the summer pool party, but you got algae in your pool and it's turned a little green. And now you're a little embarrassed and you don't have the time to clean it. You don't know how to clean it. Use a professional. Use somebody with 20 years of experience in the industry. That's Tracy Corley, who believes in providing the absolute highest quality swimming pool service at the most affordable price to you and your family. Give Corley Pool Solutions a call today and line up that weekly maintenance package. 803-445-8109. Again, that's 803-445-8109. Servicing Lexington, Chapin, Lake Murray. Tracy Corley and his team will be there weekly. And you know what? It's more affordable to use Corley Pool Solutions than it is for you to try and make trips to the pool store and maintain the pool yourself. Contact the professionals, somebody who knows what they're doing and will have that pool looking sparkling clean within hours. 803-445-8109. That's Corley Pool Solutions.
Ollie wants you to hit a hole-in-one for Oliver Gospel Mission. You're invited to the 15th Annual Charity Classic. Your hole sign, a team of 4, will give meals and care for hungry neighbors in our community. That's why we need your church, business, or group of friends to help us golf for good this October 2nd. Go to olivergospel.org to see how you can volunteer and sponsor today.
Be sure to catch the 2023 Gamecock Central preseason kickoff party Saturday, August 19th at Steel Hands Brewing. Park pep rally, park concert, and all party. We'll have food, drinks, music from Patrick Davis and his Midnight Choir, and everything Gamecock football in between. This party is free to attend, but a limited number of VIP tickets still remain. Go to steelhandsbrewing.com, click on the events tab, and scroll down to buy your tickets. Those will get you in early and with a number of perks. Benefiting the Beamer Family Foundation, we'll see you out there Saturday, August 19th at Steel Hands Brewing.
Can you imagine a world without junk?
A world where there's room to breathe and stretch out and play.
A world with enough room to laugh and live and love.
You have the power to make that world happen.
And that power is in your forefinger.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Invite us to your house.
We'll only be there a few minutes.
Any home or apartment.
Workplace or job site.
We're industrial strength magicians.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Managing your online presence takes time, effort, and expertise. It can overwhelm even the savviest business owner. So, meet Cumulus Boost. We're experts at boosting the online presence for businesses of every type. We make sure potential customers can easily find you and really like what they find. Your website, online listings, consumer reviews, and more. Cumulus Boost, online at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
This is Larry Lighton, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Liner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Just how does a car repair shop last in business for over 50 years like Sudduth Automotive? By providing affordable, reliable, and honest auto repair. But if you ask them, they'll tell you it's their loyal customers who come back time and time again to entrust them with their car repairs. Well-trained technicians, service packages, and monthly specials. Isn't it time you became a customer? Give them a call or come by at 1410 North Millwood Avenue or make an appointment at SudduthAuto.com.
Wilson Kibler is South Carolina's top homegrown commercial real estate firm. Wilson Kibler was founded in 1987 right here in Columbia. They are a full-service commercial real estate firm handling sales, leasing, investments, and property management services. Their team of professionals is dedicated to client success, whether it be buying or selling a property, leasing space, investing, or property management. Talk to Wilson Kibler first. Call Wilson Kibler at 803-779-8600 or find them at wilsonkibler.com.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Couple accidents out there to let you know about. St. Andrews Road at Lake Murray Boulevard, that continues to be an issue where they have detours because of that broken water main. Also an accident, I-26 eastbound at I-20. Trenham Road at Decker Boulevard, we do have a tie-up there. So be careful out there this morning if you would. Looking for a high today. Going to be warm, 98 with some showers coming in later. 95 for the high tomorrow, Wednesday, less humid, 94. And right now we are up to 80 at 107.5 The Game.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. 107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the early game, 107.5 The Game. Satterhead, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen with you on Monday morning as we get set for another day of Gamecocks camp. Preston, as a player, how do you feel getting set for this day compared to day number one?
Now you're starting to say, all right, we're actually here. I don't know when actual padded first full day of pads
I think it's
coming.
day 5.
Day
Would
5.
that be Wednesday?
So now you're getting to the point where it's a little bit boring and repetitive because you can't actually hit anybody.
Mhm.
Things might be starting to get a little bit testy because the drills that you're supposed to be doing with no contact, somebody inevitably makes a little more contact than they should.
Like shoving around a
A
little
little
bit.
bit of shoving, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're not supposed to hit, but you hit. You know I touched you. You keep running. All of those types of things are happening right now.
So does it feel like the longest month ever?
Yeah, it does. It does. I just remember being grateful that students would actually come back on campus so you could actually see other folks. And again, this is where I get into, well, back in my day and the old times and all of that type of stuff. But we were literally at camp. We would go to the building, which was formerly known as the Roost,
Mm-hmm.
and we would be sequestered from civilization and you couldn't leave, they would take your car keys away.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So take your car keys away. Though some folks might have finagled some spares here and there. You know, you would work with some things and try and get to know the security guard, whatever. But they would take your car keys. You took a bus to practice, a bus back. You couldn't actually leave. You ate all your meals there. And you were literally, so when they talk about going away to camp, it was actually camp.
Like camp.
Yeah. Now
Wow.
you guys get to drive up and go home and lay in their own confines of their own places. That was not the case.
Was that just a Holtz thing?
I feel like that was the general conditions of the time, but Holtz was definitely on it.
Okay.
1,000%.
What was he afraid y'all were going to do if you left?
Oh, well, I mean, we could have found something to do for sure. So I'm not saying he was wrong in doing that. I don't know if we could have been actually trusted to not be sequestered like that, but yeah, take your car keys. Everybody turns your car keys in. You park them at the roost. You stay there for at least the first week.
So what'd y'all do in y'all's free time when you weren't doing football stuff?
There was not much free sleep.
Okay.
There wasn't much free time. You would leave the building at 6 a.m. You would hear the coaches come around, beating on the doors. Wake up, wake up. You get out of there. You stumble out. You put your feet in your slides. You walk out to the bus. Dead silence on the bus. Nobody's talking, no, except for one person, Jay Macy, the only person that's joking. And even him, everybody's like, shut up, man.
It's too early for this.
It's too early for this. From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. when you get back, you're at the stadium.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I'm not gonna lie. It was a little different. I don't wish it on anybody. That's why I said, I make the joke and I do it annually, but I make the same tweet every year. Like, man, football's so much more fun now than it was back when I played.
I saw it was the video that Carolina shared over the weekend. Guys, walking out there, and it's obviously something serious, but there was some lightheartedness and some.
I mean, they're doing
on.
a high five competition and doing the daps and how many different ways they can dap, and there's referees and all this fun and joy, which was not a part of the calculus in Lou Holtz camp.
My favorite thing now is even professional teams had it for a long time, but now even college programs have like social media coordinators that I saw a video yesterday of they had TCU players rolling Oreos into different cups that had coffee and mustard and milk and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure you guys would have loved to have done something like that.
Would have loved to have laughed, smiled perhaps.
There is no joy at camp, none at all. If you're smiling, you're not working hard enough.
Basically. Yeah, I wish I was exaggerating.
No, I get it. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I wish I was exaggerating, but it was a full day from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Now,
camp, practice, meetings.
For the freshmen that come in and experience that for the first time, can you see the look on their face like, oh, this one isn't what I was expecting?
Yeah, this is when you start to sort of see that look.
Yeah,
where they're looking around like, man, we're gonna have to continue doing this.
Yeah,
and you're like, yeah, this is it. This is
mom's not coming to pick you up with a snack.
This is what you signed up for. No snacks, no parents, nobody, nothing, nobody on camp. You don't see anybody. The same people over and over and over again.
Again, another day of camp coming up today, and I believe the Gamecock Central guys will be out there this afternoon around 2, maybe 2:30, and we'll get some observations from them that we can certainly talk about tomorrow morning as well. We'll come back and wrap up today's edition of the early game. Tyler, Preston, and Jen on 107.5 The Game.
Got something to say?
Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer.
At 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Want to remind you, school's starting. It's time to contact Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Right now, you can have Zerorez come out to your house and take advantage of a great deal going on. You can get 3 rooms cleaned for only $129 when you mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game. Zerorez, using its patented electrolyzed ZR water technology that cleans and eliminates dirt without any chemical additives. This way, your carpets stay cleaner longer. Again, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. You can schedule online as well, ZerezColumbia.com. With the kids going back, now's the opportunity to get the house looking nice and clean. Contact Zerez, 803-262-4020, or again, schedule online, ZerezColumbia.com. Zerez, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey DQ fans, get ready for a $7 meal deal that adds a little something sweet. Order a $7 meal deal and choose between an original cheeseburger or 3-piece chicken strips plus full-size regular fries, drink, and your choice of sundae. Only at participating locations. Happy tastes good.
Be sure to catch the 2023 Gamecock Central preseason kickoff party Saturday, August 19th at Steel Hands Brewing. Park Pep Rally, Park Concert, and all party. We'll have food, drinks, music from Patrick Davis and his Midnight Choir, and everything Gamecock football in between. This party is free to attend, but a limited number of VIP tickets still remain. Go to steelhandsbrewing.com, click on the events tab, and scroll down to buy your tickets. Those will get you in early and with a number of perks. Benefiting the Beamer Family Foundation, we'll see you out there Saturday, August 19th at Steel Hands Brewing.
The 2023 Gamecock football season is almost here. We need you to help us paint Charlotte garnet and black on Saturday, September 2nd. Your South Carolina Gamecocks kick off the 2023 football season against the University of North Carolina Tar Heels in the Dukes Mayo Classic at Bank of America Stadium. Visit GamecocksOnline.com today to secure your tickets and help us paint Charlotte garnet and black on Saturday, September 2nd. Go Gamecocks!
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
No one likes to talk about the injuries, pain, disability, and lost loved ones that result from terrible car and tractor-trailer accidents. I'm Jason Reynolds. At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we're honored to be the lawyers our clients rely on during their toughest moments.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When a work injury disrupts your life, I work hard to get you the medical treatment and workers' compensation you depend on.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Hey Gamecocks, do you have your new outfit ready to go? Hey, Scott here for Gamecock Traditions, inviting you to come by and get your wardrobe up to date with tons of new fashions arriving daily. Shop Pressbox, Campus Couture, Under Armour, Champion, Life is Good, Cutter and Buck, and many other brands of Gamecock clothing. Accessorize with over 100 styles of earrings, bracelets, pendants, hair bows, socks, and hats. At Gamecock Traditions, we're ready to help you go to the game in style. Gamecock Traditions, your Gamecock Superstore.
It's the Love Chevrolet countdown to Gamecock football.
6 days till kickoff.
No games, no add-ons, no surprises. No wonder so many people buy with confidence at Love Chevy, home of the $1,000 low price guarantee.
I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com.
Find new roads.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Still have those detours there around St. Andrews Road and Lake Murray Boulevard due to working on that water main. Also an accident, I-26 eastbound at I-20. I-77 northbound at Percival Road, and Trenham Road at Decker Boulevard, an accident there. Some storms may be rolling in later on today. 98 will be our high, hot and breezy. 95 tomorrow, 94 on Wednesday. We are warming up quickly. It is 80 right now at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Welcome back into the early game on 107.5 The Game. A couple more minutes to go here. Tyler Head, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen. So we talked about this a little bit earlier during one of the commercial breaks. The Cup Series race did not get to finish yesterday up in Michigan. Rained 74 laps in out of 200. You're still sitting pretty good. You got
Okay.
Bubba Wallace. He's in ninth right now.
All right.
Looking pretty strong yesterday, running up in the top 5. So still holding out some hope. You might be the one that comes out on top at the end of the day today.
Well, I got a good chance of beating Bill though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I think you got a very good chance of beating
Yeah.
Bill.
Kyle Busch is out, and that's who Bill had.
Perfect.
Which we laughed before because, when Tyler made the pick on Thursday, since Bill was out, and he said JJ Yaley, and I'll put it out there and not have it be secretive. So when I told Bill, he texted later and said, "Hey, so who picked whom?" And I said, "Well, here's all of our picks, and for you, Tyler picked JJ Yaley," and he sent me a note back. That sounds like a fake name. I'm gonna pick Kyle Busch. And I'm like, dude, this is exactly why you should not be leading in this stinking series because you don't even know that's a real driver. So
Yeah,
I had my moment.
Kyle Busch, after crashing out yesterday, will be finishing dead last.
Perfect.
He will.
So,
And
Perfect. This is my chance.
He should have taken JJ Yaley. He would at least had a
I need to gain some momentum.
me.
here.
Well, maybe let me win today.
Who'd you have picked, Jen?
I've got Harvick, which is
Harvick,
always
okay.
strong, but I tell you what, they roll off the truck a little different.
And
So,
who was Reggie's pick?
he had Hamlin.
Hamlin.
Yeah, he had Hamlin.
Okay, so you're one spot ahead of Reggie right now. Hamlin's in 10th.
But I'm not worried about Reggie because Reggie's a little bit further back.
Okay,
in
so
points
just-
on me. So I just
you're-
need
Yep.
really gunning in on Bill. So if
And at
Bill's
this
already
point-
out and I get some more points, I can make
There you go.
Make up some
You can make a
ground.
run.
This is going to be a big day for you.
Could be. All right, Bubba, let's go.
How much have you learned about racing this year?
You know what I learned? I guess I'd never realized how long the season was.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I knew that. I knew all the races.
Yeah.
But I don't think I knew how long the season actually was, and that's something I'm like, oh man, we're still racing.
It goes from right at Valentine's Day all the way until first weekend or second weekend in November. It's a long year.
Yeah, I don't think I realized. I know I didn't realize how long the season.
Very few weekends off.
Well,
Yeah.
just for the Cup
Mhm.
Series, just the one weekend off, which is Father's Day now.
Exactly.
So, and then you also have the All-Star race, you have the Clash. So yeah, 38 weeks out of the year.
Ooh.
It's not easy.
That's a long
It's a
time.
long season. Yep.
I feel for the hauler drivers because they're the ones that have to actually take all the stuff to the track and cross the country multiple times.
Well,
Yeah.
going to Darlington and seeing the operations of
Ooh, yeah.
each
That was
car,
fun to
that
watch,
was really
right?
cool to see. But also to your point, man, these people, that's a tough life.
I'm glad you mentioned Darlington. Did I tell you all what happened to me that Friday as I was trying to leave the track?
No.
So that was my first time at Darlington, and I didn't think about there being one way in and one way out. So I did my show there, took some time, went around the garage area, down pit road and stuff, just kind of looking at stuff, taking some pictures and whatnot. I was coming back up there later that night with my dad for the truck race. I had to drive back to Lexington, pick my dad up though. So I was like, all right, after I'd done a couple things and okay, let me get out of here. It was around, 1:30 or whatever, as I was attempting to leave. As I was going back to my car by the media center, I heard a couple of people saying, hey, the haulers are about to come in. I'm like, okay, well, let me get out real quick before that happens. And again, not thinking there's only one way in or out. Before I could even get back onto the road going through the infield, they started coming in. And when I say I sat there for at least 45 minutes watching all the haulers come in, I'm
Mhm.
not kidding.
And they typically, it's like we've already gotten the media release about the hauler parade. Like people watch this. It is very strategic. It is very well
Yep.
coordinated. They're all lined up someplace to then all make their way in because you think about how they all have to fit into the
And the
infield.
precision
It's
of
very
the angles
precision.
of the
And yep,
parking.
they have to park them. So what they do is they'd 3 or 4 would come through and they'd all park and the whole line would stop. Then 3 or 4 more would go. And it's just again, I'm sitting there. I just turned the car off and rolled the windows down
Just
and
enjoyed the
just
scenery.
sat there for, basically almost an hour watching all these haulers go in. And, I still picked my dad up. We had a great time and got back to the track in plenty of time. But I'm like, man, I should have thought that one through a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
And if you're not like Preston is learning about NASCAR, it's educational and it's just a whole other world.
You should see the inside of one of those things sometimes. That'll blow your mind.
Man.
How much they have going on in there?
It's like NASA. It's crazy. But, we're a couple weeks away from another trip to Darlington, that being Labor Day weekend for the Cookout Southern 500. But we're going to be broadcasting there that Friday as well. So looking forward to that, as it's going to be a big weekend with the racing and obviously college football truly getting kicked off with week number 1 between South Carolina and North Carolina up there in Charlotte. That's all we got time for on today's edition of the Early Game. Be back in tomorrow morning for the Tuesday edition. Talk plenty more about camp. Thanks for listening. 107.5 The Game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is USC linebacker Mo Kaba, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, home of the Gamecocks.
The Cumulus Media.
All right, we see you guys.